Hello and welcome to week 4, the Overtime Show. We're Cover 2 TV. I'm Chris Pajak, Ste Hall, Tom Jennings. We've got 4 games to discuss as normal, and we'll take a little spin around the league afterwards where we look at every single game from the NFL in week 4. If you're just joining us, thank you very much. If you want to find out a little bit of background on the channel and stuff like that, then do go back and check some of the older shows. We've got some really cool draft shows actually, kind of shows off what we can do graphically, but also shows off this man's knowledge on American football. So go back, check them out and see how he's done. Spoilers, not very well thus far.
Hang on.
Thus far.
On the draft? No, the draft stuff was good. The pick in the game was just garbage.
okay. Apologies, Ste.
I got the draft all right.
We've got off on the wrong foot in this show.
The draft's fine. The other stuff in terms of actually the actual games that we're going to talk about now.
Not so well.
Nobody's really. I don't even have the draft to fall back on, mate. I just have the games and that's not going well.
Well, we'll come to that at the end of the show anyway. But we'll first off, we're going to start with the LA Rams 35, Dallas Cowboys 30. Jenno, what did you make of the game?
I thought it was a mad game because, I mean, the Rams scored 35 points, but only 2 touchdowns. I mean, how often does that happen? I mean, I think they broke a record with 7 field goals. It just seems a weird game where the Dallas was getting stops and then getting beat by field goals, which is a rare thing to happen in the NFL.
It's like the Dallas defense is like bend don't break, which is commendable because they don't want to get touchdowns in the red zone, but they just come up against it. Greg Zuerlein, a kicker who was just made everything. If you would be happy to stop a team getting 7 field goals, and he just banged every single one of them through. It was unbelievable, and I think the Rams only punted twice. So every possession they had, they either scored a touchdown or got themselves a field goal, which is just remarkable. I think Sean McVay's done an amazing job, and it's an indictment on Jeff Fisher in that primarily the same players. There are a few differences, obviously. They've added Sammy Watkins, they've added the Whitworth at left tackle, who has just been one of the best players in the league this year. But Jared Goff just looks like they've just made it simple for him. Everything's slowed down, everything's easy, defined throws. And he can do that, and I think it just shows what a bad coaching job the last regime did, and how amazing.
But also, they've got Todd Gurley motoring again, haven't they? He had a down year last year, didn't he? I mean, in this game alone, 23 carries, 121 yards, plus 7 receptions for 94 yards. An incredible game, and it opens everything else up for them, doesn't it, Steve?
Yeah, and the run, I'm not surprised. Like, Todd Gurley's amazing. Last year, again, it was teams just stacked the box because they knew Jared Goff couldn't do anything, and the line was bad. And in the end, Gurley just looked like a guy who'd given up, and I can kind of, and he should give up because not so much give up, but it's hard for you to put your body on the line when you know it's for nothing.
Yeah.
When now he knows it's for something, and I'm so impressed with how they've got him involved in the passing game. That was never a thing that you saw under his first couple of years. He was always the power back or whatever. And it isn't even checked. Listen, some of those catches are checkdowns, and which is fine. But some of them are defined throws. His touchdown catch and run, that's a defined throw. That ball's meant to go to him. And he's your best player, so use him. It's not rocket science that you've got a couple of star players, get the ball in their hands. And to be fair, Dallas couldn't stop him. The Dallas defensive line, which has been pretty good this season on the whole, they couldn't really get anywhere near him, couldn't stop him. And
some good adjustments made at half-time with regards to the Rams' defence, being able to stuff the run second half.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we finally saw a sight in Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he was outplayed by Todd Gurley, but this is the first time now we've seen Zeke actually run a bit and seem like he's lost a bit of weight, and he's starting to get back to Ezekiel Elliott we saw last season. But then those little adjustments came in, and he really slowed down second half. As well, I think Des Bryant first half was making some big catches, was really looking like, throw your hands up Des, that we were kind of saying he's not that anymore. And then second half, even he quietened down, and he started to get grips with it. It was really interesting the way Wade Phillips finally started to coach, because I'm a big fan of Wade Phillips, but this Rams defense hasn't been great so far this season.
I must admit, I was never a fan of Wade Phillips, because I think when I really found out about him, he was the Dallas Cowboys head coach and stuff, and he never really did it there, do you know what I mean? And obviously watching NFL over the last few years and stuff, you find out about just his pedigree and seeing what he can do with that Broncos defense, and now what we're seeing with the Rams defense and everything that he's done since then. It kind of shows you that an amazing defensive coordinator who didn't quite get it right in a very, very difficult place like the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Jerry Jones at the time was all over the place. It seems like he's found his man, and a guy that will probably say yes to him a little bit more. And I think sometimes that relationship between manager or CEO and head coach obviously needs to work as well, and he never really had it at the Cowboys, did he?
I think he's one of those guys who just looks like head coaching wasn't for him, but he looks like he's an amazing coordinator. You know, that the Broncos defense that he won the Super Bowl with was one of the best defenses of the last couple of decades. Maybe it was that good for one season. The Rams defense, I'm with Jenno. Before the season, if you said how the Rams going to win, you'd think it would be more like the Bills are winning at the moment, where you kind of hide in your offense to an extent and you're just winning on defense, winning turnovers. They're not. They're winning they're winning through offense, and his defense is just doing enough. And I agree. At half-time, it looked like this could be a 40-40 game. You know, both sides were doing what at will almost. It was only a half-time where whatever adjustments they made, and it's hard to know. Other than Aaron Donald, without really getting any sacks, he was constantly in the backfield. You know, Travis Frederick's one of the best centres, probably the best centre in the league, arguably. And Aaron Donald was just swimming past him at times. He was just unbelievable. And once he's coming down straight through you, Dak had to move. Yeah. And Dak can run, don't get me wrong. And he ran at the end of that game. He almost got them into a position where they won, but he wasn't as comfortable. They couldn't get Zeke Elliott going anymore. And it was Aaron Donald started wrecking the game because he's that good. I thought, and I never thought I'd say this, but the Rams are the most fun team to watch. If I had to pick a game to watch this weekend when we divvy up gaming and stuff, I'll gladly want to pick the Rams.
So I'll probably still take the Chiefs, but
yeah, absolutely. I'm rightly so. They're another fantastic team, but for the transformation from last year's absolute garbage Rams who you wouldn't put on. I mean, ever you would never want to watch them against this team. It was just fun, exciting. I think it's amazing. It just shows a couple of good additions in the summer and a coaching change. How tables can turn, because remember our preview when we previewed the NFC, we dismissed the Rams. We said we're not even going to talk about them. We only spoke about Seattle, and well, we were wrong, because these are a proper team. And
it's not just the quarterback who stepped up and the running back. You know, Sammy Watkins is making amazing catches in the game. The other wide receivers are getting involved. It's very, very fun to watch, as Steve says, you know.
Yeah, it is. I think it's just summed up by Todd Gurley, and the reason why is Todd Gurley last season, you heard him talking about, we've got a grade school offence, we've got a preschool offence, and you can clearly see he hated Jeff Fisher. He hated the offensive coordinator, and you see what happened when Sean McVay's come in and give him an offence and said, run this is going to work. Don't just run straight at your tackle and get tackled for 2 yards. And suddenly now he's starting to look up. When last season he was hesitant to hit holes because he just knew once he gets it, he's getting smacked in the face, whereas now he's excited to play. And I think that shows, and that kind of thing then shows throughout the whole team. I mean, Sammy Watkins was drafted before Odell Beckham, and I keep saying this because he's a good player, because he actually is a big target. He's not as good as Odell, but that kind of happens. But he is a first-round receiver. I'm starting to see that. Cooper Kupp, everyone was raving about him right through the draft, through the thing. He's amazing, exactly what we thought he was.
Possession guy.
Yeah, and then you got Woods, who I always liked at Buffalo, and he's this guy. So they've got weapons there, and they actually treat offense like it's a thing. And when you do that, you start winning. That's, again, this is why Jeff Fisher or, again, Rex Ryan, they're not in the NFL anymore, because he didn't treat offense like it existed.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll move on then. We've got Carolina beating the New England Patriots by 33-30. There's only one place to start, really, with this.
Can I ask a question before we start anything? Can we have a show of hands if your team won at the weekend? Okay.
Do you want I show my hands up? There's like 5 rings. You know what I mean?
See you later then, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Glory Hunters. Just gonna say it right now. Glory Hunters. Likes the underdog.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about. One day.
How's that going for you?
Not very well. We'll get on to the Vikings later, because they're a mental football team at the moment. So Carolina 33, New England 30. Jenno, Carolina kind of did you? Your defence is crap.
Yeah, this is being coming.
It's the worst.
This is the worst defence in the league. This is as bad as the 2010 to 2012 Patriots defence, where we somehow got to the Super Bowl in 2011 and we had no business being there. This is why I get angry when you hear stuff like Bucky Brooks say, oh, Tom Brady's the only one with the defence. No, we went to the Super Bowl in 2011 with the worst defence in the league, and that's what we've got now. It's awful. We've got no linebackers. There's just Kyle Van Noy out there on his own. There's the Patriots that were known for playing a 3-4 and having Willie McGinnis, Vrabel, or Mayo, and all these great players filling out, because since Dante Alto went down injured, we're basically playing loads of corners. We're doing the opposite of what Denver's doing. Denver are taking out people from the secondary to put into their linebacking core so they can stop the run and stop the pass. We're taking them out and putting them in the secondary because we've got no linebackers, so we're getting smashed. We can't rush the passer. And then Stephen Gilmore, take your hands out of the guy's face mask.
Yeah.
That it was 3 and 10. Derek Wise Jr. sacked the player and his hands were in the face mask, and that was the third time I think he got called for it just in this game. And the communication between Gilmore, Rowe and Butler, it's not there. A couple of big plays where you can just see each other trying to talk to each other and getting it wrong.
The fact that this game was so close is a testament to how good Tom Brady is and how well Tom Brady's playing, because Tom Brady's fine. In fact, he's better than fine. He's having a season like he had last year. He is unbelievable every game. But they've got two fundamental issues, and these are massive issues. First of all, the defense is a tire fire. It's horrendous. Teams can just do whatever they can pass or throw. They're not stopping anything. So any team can come in with their offensive game plan and execute it, which is bad news. That's not what happens to Belichick defenses. They always take that away and make you find another way to beat them. And secondly, the offensive line. Tom Brady's getting hit far too much, and he's playing so well, but people forget because he's Tom Brady and like say he's the GOAT, he's the best ever, blah blah blah. He's a 40-year-old fella and he's getting smashed. And one of these days, he's not going to get up. Yeah. He's not. It's going to be bad. And
no matter how much yoga you do, he ain't getting up.
Honestly, mate, it's fine. And listen, he looks after himself so well and all that stuff, and he gets the ball out quickly, blah blah blah. He got battered again. Yeah. And it's again, the fact that they got to 30 is just a testament to how brilliant he is, because they had no business being in that game, because that defense. I'm sitting watching the game and I genuinely can't believe it's a Belichick Patricia defense. Yeah. And I get there's injuries and I understand there's injuries, but they usually can scheme a way to stop something. So they'll either stop you running and make you throw it, or they'll stop you throwing it and make you run it. And Carolina do whatever they wanted. Yeah. You know, Devin Funchess, who I forgot existed, is making big plays.
Huge plays.
I
tell you what I loved about the Carolina Panthers. I had a little bit of a go. I think it was on last week's show about the types of throw that Cam Newton was making, and that everything was just over the centre, between the numbers, and too easy for the defenders to get onto. This time he was playing quite a few touch balls over to the side, and I was really impressed with that. And it was a real change. I just wonder now whether Cam Newton is kind of, because the offense has changed massively because the pieces have changed. I wonder whether he's now finding those pieces. He can play that type of a game, you know, very accurate, but he wasn't always drilling the ball in. Whereas I think whenever Cam's trying to do too much, like, it's all on me because we're playing crap, he just lashes it as hard as possible. Like, whereas there's a bit more trust now with his receivers that, you know what, there's a guy 5 yards away from him, I'll hit him in the flat and I'll trust him to go and do the job instead of me firing it in and trying to save a yard or something like that. I'm really impressed with Cam Newton's performance in this game.
He looked like MVP Cam from a couple of seasons ago, and the main thing I think is that they had him running again. Yeah. They stopped him trying to be this dink and dunk passer and blah. That's not Cam Newton, because I get why they wanted to bring the offense in, but it had to be a mash. It had to be a mesh. Cam's been injured.
What's your name?
Yeah, don't worry. Cam's been injured, so maybe that's why they haven't been running them as much. But in this game, they had design runs, so his touchdown run is a design run. Yeah. But he just, that's ridiculous.
That was his own read one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's his own.
And it's so far in the running back's arms, and you're like, he's not pulling that out. He's pulled that out. Are you kidding me? Like,
and then he just and then he's running over these non-existent line. But don't get me wrong,
he's bigger than them. He's bigger than all of them.
He's bigger than the whole secondary because we've got no linebackers. Because we just saw.
Let's give him some praise.
I want to make the point though, because this is about the Patriots, because we saw Alex Smith would run on us quite easily.
It's not the Patriots, this is about the Panthers, Jenno. So the Panthers being better than you. Get used to it, lads.
It looks like that, but no, the point I was going to make is when you see better players, so we're seeing more teams run on them because the better players who are running. So that's why I think they allow Cam to run more, because they've established other quarterbacks so they run all over the Patriots. So we've got the best running quarterback there is.
That's a good point.
So then, yeah, see what happens when you let me make it.
No, I think it was a great decision to target, and everyone's going to target those linebackers. Everyone's going to go after them. So they play Tampa Bay next week. Again, we'll touch on it on the preview show. You'll see a healthy dose of Mike Evans over the middle of the field. You'll see the tight ends and stuff, because It's amazing. It's the worst defense in the league, and it's Bill Belichick's defense, and it's just that's like mind-blowing, bizarre stuff.
And it's some silly mistakes, mental errors as well, which you don't attribute to a Belichick
it looks like
defense.
they look like a badly coached team. Hey, they're injured and they're beat up, and I understand that, but they look poorly coached, and it's bizarre. And the Patriots, they look like a 9-7 type team.
This is the side before the season everyone had already given the Super Bowl trophy to.
And there was 16-0 talk and blah blah blah.
I think that was mostly what the offense was going to be, but this is the thing about we talk about Brady. Brady's getting smashed because there's no small throws, because there's no one there who can get open for 5 yards. It's got to be long throws down.
But even last year the O-line was better.
Yeah, the O-line's terrible. I mean, Nate Solder's took a step back every year now for the last 3 years, I think. And the more problem is the defense is now playing Matt Patricia out of a job. Matt Patricia was going to get a job this season, the way it was looking. Not after this season. But I'd just like to say, this is where we were in 2014 after getting smacked by the Kansas City Chiefs. 2-2, everyone thought we were garbage, and
I've got no... Listen, will I be
I've got some hope.
Will I be shocked that the Patriots win the Super Bowl? No, because Tom Brady's there. But this defense, I'm not sure what you do to fix it, other than you try and bring maybe a free agents in, or you try and do some trading, which Belichick will do. Yeah. He's done it in the past. Because these players aren't good enough. It isn't just... Like, the secondary, I think, are fine. I think Gilmore and Butler and Rowe are good players. Front seven, I wouldn't trade any of them for anyone. I don't think they're not really that good.
Trey Flowers
is good. Yeah, the rest of them are just fellas.
Derek Wise Jr.'s proved that now he's just a pass rusher. That's it. He can't stop the run, and that's why he doesn't play on running down to Marsh.
It's just bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. And Carolina played Carolina football just very quickly on the other side. Luke Kuechly's outstanding again.
Yeah,
like
always.
14 tackles or something ridiculous, amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well, we'll talk about somebody else, because I'm fed up of talking about New England now, Jenno. We're going to go Buffalo 23, Atlanta 17. Big upset for the Bills.
Yeah, and they did it. But like I'm saying before, they played Bills football. They went into Atlanta and played their style of football and won, and that is huge. That is amazing when you can go into who I think are the best team now in the NFC after a few weeks. I thought Atlanta were going to take a step back, and I watched them for 3 weeks, and they haven't. They're not as good, but they're still very.
I was going to say, I think this has been coming this loss, because I think their offense has took a massive step back.
Yeah,
it has declined massively.
It was one of the best offenses of all time.
It's not even a good offense right now. It's a mediocre offense, and I think it's because Julio Jones has not done anything.
And he got hurt
through the first 4 weeks of the season.
He got hurt in this game, which was a massive blow and stuff, but. Again, we disrespected the Bills when we said on the AFC preview, and the Bills are good. This isn't a fluke. The Bills' defense is ridiculous, and this is another young first-time head coach coming into the team and just making an impact straight away. And again, it could all fall to bits because they're not super talented. They're just a gang of pretty good players with a few star players in it. But they're the opposite of what I was saying about the Patriots, which is mad. They are so well coached. There's no errors, so they just play mistake-free football and then let you make a mistake or try and capitalise on something you do and take advantage. So they're playing fine. Then they get to Jerry Hughes, sacks, Matt Ryan, fumble, pick it up and score. And that's how they get their points, because Tyrod Taylor in this game, he threw 20 passes and only 12 of them got caught. But they were mistake-free on defence, mistake-free, give your offence a chance, and that's what we
Shady McCoy got back up and running as well, do you know? Which they've needed after 2 poor weeks from him.
It is, but then the 1-2 punch of McCoy and Taylor is how they're going to win games. That is what their offense is, because it's not a passing offense, as you say. 12 completions. I mean, that most people throw that in the first quarter. It's not a big. So they're going to keep trying to run and keep people just control the clock, and then hope their defense can beat teams, and it's working for them. And again, I was someone who massively underestimated what the Bills would be. I was genuinely thinking they might go like 1-15. So I'm wrong about that as well as everything.
What did you make about how they introduced Charles Clay into the passing game?
Yes, the passing game. That's the passing game. So yeah, I think Tyrod goes 180 yards, like 115 of them at the Charles Clay on 5 passes, because Tyrod, again, people think I'm being mean when I say about Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor leaves so many throws on the field. If you go back and watch games from the All-22, and this is me being a big nerd, I don't expect everyone to do it, just watch it, and there's guys running open everywhere, and he just doesn't see them, because he's a little fella, and he can't see them, and his instinct is to run, get out and stuff. But Charles Clay is massive, so you can see him, and it is literally that simple. And a lot of it's designed to go to him because Tyrod doesn't anticipate guys getting open. He has to see them open and then throw it. So it must be so frustrating as a wide receiver when you know you've beat your man, but the guy isn't quick enough to throw it to you. Whereas Charles Clay, it's easier for him to spot him being open, or and that's what he does. And he just finds him, and it works. It absolutely works for them. So listen, again, it's good coaching because you're doing the best with what you've got. You're not trying to make Tyrod Taylor into Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and also you're not trying to make him into, you don't want to be Michael Vick either, where it's all running all the time, big massive boomer throws, which is exciting, but it can lead to mistakes because he's not that accurate. So you're doing the best with what you've got. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's playing fancy football in your league and Charles Clay isn't picked up, pick him up. Because my word, he's going to get targets for fun. And
Jenno, finally on the Atlanta Falcons, what did you make of their last drive? Specifically the 4 play on each down. Sorry, the 4 passes on each down. Even.
Just we've seen this what they like to do. They trust in Matt Ryan over the running backs, even though Coleman and Devontae Freeman are really good.
I was amazing.
And I think they're playing a lot worse than I think anyone's saying. I mean, I know you're saying, but they really don't look the same offense without the threat of Julio Jones on the field. I know
most teams would be the same in fairness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was about to say.
Jones is still there.
Yeah. It's 4th and 1, and him and Sanu aren't there because they're both injured, which is fine. And they go for a pass, and they still got time out. It's 4th and 1. You need to get this one to stay in the game. Devontae Freeman's been one of the best running backs in the league this year, if not the best. He's been absolutely superb. Not the best because Kareem Hunt and so Gurley, but he's been as effective when he's had the ball.
Just the old QB sneak. I mean, that works
all
the time.
Works for you.
Yeah, Tom Brady does all the time. Tevin Coleman runs for fun, and I found it mad. And it was reminiscent to that end of that Super Bowl when they're trying to pass, because the ball's in Matt Ryan's hands. And I kind of understood it in the Super Bowl. I didn't agree with it, but I get it. They're 2 best receivers on the field. You're throwing to Taylor Gabriel. I was like, just run the ball, get your first down, and then
it opens the pass.
And then go for it, because it's 4th and 1, the game's on the line. Not good enough. And I thought it was, again, questionable play calling from an Atlanta offensive line. Sorry, an offensive coordinator at the end of a big game. And it shows how fine lines in the NFL between good coaching and bad coaching, and the better coached team on this game won.
Okay. All right, well, final major game that we're going to talk about is the New York Giants 23, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25. Giants are now 0-4. Steve, their season over?
Yes, they're so bad. They are... Speaking of badly coached teams, Ben McAdoo,
he's terrible.
He's a horrendous coach. He has not got a Scooby-Doo. Yeah,
he's got Scooby snacks though.
He loves them.
He loves them.
He very much. I'm not going to say that because libelous. What I was going to say about him.
What are you going to say, Steve?
I'll tell you.
What are you going to say, Steve?
I'll tell you off air.
What are you going to say, Steve?
I mean, I guess the show might get shut down if I say what I was going to say.
Don't say it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah. So.
Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, exactly, that's fine.
Anywhere.
No, okay.
Maybe the toilet, dead quiet.
Okay.
If it's just you in there.
To myself, in the mirror.
If you really want to. But I'd highly recommend never saying that again.
Okay, that's fine. I will never say that ever again. So anyway, this game...
You've got to tell Jenno after this.
I've got no idea. Just sitting here and it's something.
Again, badly coached, and they got themselves back into the game, and it blows up in their face again. And that's a game they should have won. And then they blow it again, and it's like they finally got the offense going, and then the defense falls to shit. The defense falls to absolute crap. And Jameis Winston, I mean, I don't know if any of you saw, if you follow SB Nation on Twitter or whatever, you should do, it's great. They say on the touchdown for OJ Howard, when he's literally got the whole side of the field, and it's literally the whole side of the field, and he just throws it, and SB Nation going in, here's OJ Howard finding a hole in the Giants, defense, and the hole is the whole left side of the field, and it's just like, last year you were built, your defense was amazing, so what's happened? Why has this gone from that to that? And in previous games, the offense has been poorly coached, and now it's gone to this, and it was just like, I picked these to go to the playoffs, and they're absolute garbage. They're the worst team in New York, and the Jets are in New York. The Jets are in New York.
What do you do with Eli Manning now?
See, they've got nothing behind them to say you bench him because they've got nothing to put in.
They drafted a young kid, didn't they? But it's too early again.
But yeah, you drafted a young kid, but you drafted him, what round was it?
Mid-round.
But all right,
so that's a
not
Kirk
this
Cousins
season.
style.
What are you doing next season
next
with
season
Eli Manning?
I'm taking a first round pick. My
They'll
first round pick.
get the first pick. The way they're going, like.
It is going on whatever QB. Some people are talking about Sam Darnold not playing so well, but
he hasn't played particularly well this year.
yeah. So I don't know, but their offense is just OBJ. It's just literally what he does is where they can't run the ball.
Yeah.
Eli Manning was like their second leading rusher in this game because he went for an 11-yard touchdown run. They can't run the ball.
I picked Paul Perkins in one of my fantasy leagues.
So did I, and he's just sat, I got rid of him before. He just sat on the bench doing
Was
that.
it Wayne?
I need to do that right after this.
Wayne-
After Steve told you what he said.
Wayne Galway was it?
Yeah.
Whatever that kid's name, who's he?
No.
Fair enough, like, he could be a great rookie, all the best to your lad, but that was their running
4
game.
yards to carry for them's a miracle run.
It was horrendous.
And they didn't cover the tight ends at all. Cameron Bray caught 2 touchdowns, and then we've just talked about OJ Howard's touchdown.
There aren't many touchdowns in the NFL I think I could score. And I could have scored that. Because there was no one, and he just walked in. He's dancing on the way into the end zone, like, this is how easy is this?
The one touchdown that I think I could score, and someone would have to get me there first because I'd never be able to get to the 1 yard line. But do you remember Peyton Manning's? I could do that if someone can get me there because they're never expecting me to run. And then, yeah, I'd take that all day. Like,
The Peyton, like, I would fumble the snap. 100%. I'd just see some big crocs over the, and I'd be terrified.
Run up and,
Spike.
I'd be more like, hey,
Stop the clock, I'm out.
did you ever see Peyton Manning where he was on like the half-yard line and then he slid down anyway because he was too scared?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Oh, yeah.
I'd just be giving myself up to slide down and go,
just dive straight to the floor. He wouldn't even spike it, he's just diving.
Just that, Eli's very fond of not getting hit, which is fair play to him.
Yeah, I'm also fond of it, mate. That's why.
It's a great skill to have. It's a great skill to have. I think we should talk Tampa offense.
Well, I was going to say this, I always get this wrong. Jameis Winston, 3 for 332, 3 touchdowns, and didn't get an interception in this game. He's starting to motor, isn't he?
This game he did because Jameis has got this habit of, for every 8 good throws he throws 2 that just absolutely make your head just spin. Like the other day in the previous game, he was getting sacked and he just throws it up in the air. Like, just take the sack, James. Don't be an idiot. He backs himself so much, which is admirable. But you've got to know sometimes when you're beating and stuff, and that's the issue with Jameis. And that I think, and I don't know if it's going to change or whether it will. It might be who he is in his character, where you've got to accept that every so often he's just going to do something a bit dumb, a bit Brett Favre. Like,
I was going to say, just Brett Favre.
A bit Favre, like where I love Brett Favre for everything, but my word, he would just do your head in at times. Now, Jameis, if he has a tenth of the career of Brett Favre, he'll be lucky, but that's where he was. But in this game, he was pretty clean. You know, he didn't really he didn't have to, because he just throw it in the general vicinity of Mike Evans, and he's probably going to catch you.
I thought that was a good battle between Evans and Jenkins. I think Jenkins' emergence probably one top 3 cornerbacks.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Good.
He's a good man corner, and he had Des on toast in that game with these, and he battled with Evans, but that's what I do. That's the thing I do like about Jameis, is that he'll give his big man a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there'll be some quarterbacks you'll see that battle and they'll ignore it all game, and Jameis is like, no, I'll try and get him into the game. He tries to find Deshaun Jackson. He found his tight ends. I thought he was really, really impressive. I thought he had a really good game. Like I say, Tampa Bay are a very good team. That's a very good division, isn't it? If you think the Saints are the worst team in that division, and they're on there 2-2.
I did pick 3 of them to go through that division, and you just laughed at me. I mean, just.
No, we did.
You also picked the Chargers and the Giants. So don't.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's quality of the division.
Right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to move on to the spin around the league.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Jenno,
Remembered this time.
Nice to see you. Nice of you to join us.
Yeah.
Right,
4 weeks in.
I will ask you the first
Well,
question.
I was going to move on to the Tennessee game first.
Okay.
So we'll go Tennessee 14, Houston Texans 57, Jenno. What was the story of this game, mate?
Story was this the only thing I was right about all week, that the Texans were going to win this game.
Oh, you got another 7, right?
Yeah, but we all got the same 7 right. This was the one different one. That I felt that this was going to be the Texans were going to win. The defense is great. They shut down the run game, which is what happens when you got JJ Watt and you got Merciless. Excellent defense. They were already pulling away before Mariota got injured, but when he got injured, how Matt Castle's still in the league? I don't know.
Did he throw an interception on his first throw? Or something?
He was 4 for 10. He was awful. He was garbage.
The game was gone by then, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't gone by. It was still, because even when Mariota was actually playing garbage before the hamstring injury, was at least running the ball and giving them something on the run. That was gone. By the time the Texans are just really good. And I'm worried about the Titans now because I don't know what they're going to do with Matt Castle's their quarterback.
I think we're better in the lead by not mentioning how great Deshaun Watson might be. I might have been completely wrong with that guy. I thought he was a bit hit and miss. He's ridiculous. He's unbelievable.
Look, listen, he's had a great game. I've still got the question marks.
Oh yeah, you should have as well. But at least he's got something about him.
Yeah.
He's not. Tom Savage comes on for one play at the end and got sacked straight away. Just like, oh. Because that line's still bad, but Deshaun Watson is just making star throws, star runs, and like I say, it was a worldy game.
Yeah.
But he's the best. He might be the best quarterback this team's ever had. Already, and which, you know,
that's easily true. I mean, who
else? Matt Sharp, yeah. But it's like for your first round pick, I was thinking, is it too much? Is it not? If he plays like this, it's worth it every time. And if they get adequate quarterback play, they're a playoff team and they're a Super Bowl contender because the defense is that good.
Okay. Should we move on then?
Go on, I'll come to you then. You watched Oakland 10, Denver 16. What did you think?
Yeah, really, I mean, you know, we've got to mention it. It's Carr's injury first and foremost. Now, it's come out, hasn't it, that he's broke his back and he's fucked, essentially.
2 to 4 weeks, hopefully he's all right.
How can that be?
It's a small little break.
You're down. Like, he's having spasms and it's causing stuff to go on in his legs as well, isn't it? Like, so that's a major issue for the Oakland Raiders. The thing that would worry me at the moment is that Marshawn Lynch has been in poor form the last couple of games. Now, he started the season really well and he was getting stuff. 15 carries for 24 yards from Marshawn Lynch. That is pathetic at the moment. And the reason is that I've got it wrote down here because I always say his name wrong. DeMarta Perro, the nose tackle. Only 2 tackles in the game, but he broke everything up. Yeah. Absolutely dominant as a nose tackle there. And Denver, listen, Simeon's still a little bit up and down. Didn't really get that offense going, but massive protection issues from the Denver O-line, and then the no-fly zone do what they do, and that's the story of that game.
Yeah, and very quickly, Jenno, then, did you see AJ Derby's catch?
No,
landed down the sideline.
I didn't see it, but every time I hear his name, I just think, he was on the Patriots. We let him go.
And now he's making one-handed catches.
Mate, he was really good as well. There's a couple of touchdown catches from him, if I remember correctly, and yeah, really impressive from Derby.
Speaking of backups, EJ Manuel still exists.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
And he looked good in fairness to him, you know.
He done all right, yeah.
You know what, that first drive, I think he drove them for 9 plays, about 76 yards, something like that. I've got his total stats here. 11 of 17 for 106 yards. Most of them were on the one drive, but he looked fairly sharp, to be fair. And he was looking sound, and you know, he was picking up receivers in the seam and stuff like that. So,
but then he has the brain fart interception, didn't he? And
yeah, Simmons ends the game with the interception, doesn't it? And it's bad. But you know what? If Carr's out for 2 to 4 weeks, they could be in a worse situation. Yeah, they really could.
There are some worse backups. I agree. There are definitely
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Yeah. Scott Tolzien's a thing.
Okay, Ste. So you're looking after the Wembley game for us. New Orleans Saints 20, Miami Dolphins. Zip.
Yeah, this was a really ugly, poor game. It started poorly in that the comms ran out on the sideline, so both teams were doing the whole call on the play. It just looked scruffy and stuff. There was lots of penalties. It was like, I think it was 3-0 at half-time. It was just a really poor play game. And then what's mad is that Miami's best drive was their first drive. They get all the way to the red zone. And then Jay Cutler throws a pass that, it isn't the greatest pass, but Julius Thomas has to make a play. The last thing you can do is let that be intercepted.
Yeah.
At worst case, give some defensive pass interference away. You're massive compared to this guy, and you just let him catch it. And from there, Miami were just garbage. The offense was horrendous, and my J.J. pick again, going down the pan. They scored 0 points in this game. In the last game, they scored a touchdown in garbage time, where they'd have had 0 points again. They've got nothing going on. And very quickly we'll move on, because this was no point dwelling. Just the Saints need to just bank on Alvin Kamara now. Forget Adrian Peterson. Use Mark Ingram sparingly, but keep Alvin. There's no point taking Alvin Kamara off the pitch. I've got it again.
He's quality.
I've got his stats. I took his stats down as well. So 5 for 25 in rushes, which is fine, 5 yards a carry. But he was 10 for 71 and a touchdown, so 10 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown in the passing game. He is the ideal New Orleans Saints running back in that he can split him out wide. When
He's the Reggie Bush, isn't he?
He's the better version of Reggie Bush.
When Ingram definitely when Peterson on the field, you're just tipping your hat that you're going to throw it. Sorry, that you're going to run it. When Kamara's on the field, you can pass or run. Hopefully now they just go with that.
See, I'd like to see them where they've got two back sets and they've got Peterson and Kamara in, and then you're asking questions of a defence.
Yeah, because Kamara can play in the slot, so you could do that, but he's the man now. I mean, Aiden Peterson looks done. I mean,
again, this is just to go back onto the previous game as well. Lynch is done and Peterson's done, and that's what most of the NFL said. That's what most of the NFL felt that's coming through. This is why Peterson took so long to be signed, because he's done, and everyone knew he was done. And I think with merging that Lynch, everyone thought he might come back for injury free and give us something, but no, he looks done as well. That's why they were tired.
History's very, very wrong, and the older running backs tend, other than Frank Gore, who's like a machine, it tends not to go well, and that's where we're at with them.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll move on to my game then. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Final score was 26-9. Game I was really looking forward to. Game I was expecting to be dead close. Yeah, it didn't really work like that. Flacco came out after the game. He gave it beans before the game about how how they can get this offense running and rolling and all that type of stuff, rocking and rolling even. They didn't. He came out after the game and said, I sucked to the media. And he did. He massively did. Then listen, they still had a chance.
Pens are overrated.
Pens are absolutely overrated, especially engraved ones from your daughter that you've just thrown on the floor. 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter when they were still in the game is almost unforgivable. The Steelers on the other side of the ball, Mike Hilton looks like a bit of a playmaker in that secondary. If you're nitpicking, he had an interception and he had something else that was really good, I can't remember. But he failed on one that went for I think it was their touchdown or a long pass or something like that, I forget now. He looks like an absolute playmaker. The longest Ravens catch of the game went for 15 yards, which tells you about their offense. That tells you all you need to know.
It's the worst offense in the league.
And Lev Bell again at 120 odd yards, something like that. Absolutely. Every time I watch him, I think, wow.
We've been waiting for this game from Lev Bell, haven't we? It hasn't happened for the first 4 weeks. Well, 3 weeks and now we're seeing Lev Bell be Lev Bell. And it happened to be against the Ravens defence that some of us thought was going to be good. I don't know who. I don't know who said that.
It has been good. You know what the issue was? They're missing Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams is an elite run stopper. He stops the run, and since he's gone out, teams have run all over them. And they're the worst offense in the league. So we all picked the Ravens last week, by the way, because we're idiots.
I'll tell you another stat about Joe Flacco. 7 touchdowns, 9 turnovers this season.
Yeah, he's been crap.
That's how bad he's
back
been.
Back injuries and something to be sniffed. I get this with Derek Carr as well. Back injuries playing massive. They're not something where you just go, I'll come back from that with ease. It's a serious issue that plays you for a while. Joe Flacco's not going to look like Joe Flacco till at least next season.
Joe Flacco is looking like Joe Flacco. That's the problem. He's been picked off in 10 consecutive games going back to last season now. That's what he's been doing. But ultimately as well, I forgot to mention it before, the Ravens just couldn't get off the field. There were so many conversions. I think the Steelers were 7 of 15 on third down, which is like 46%, something like that. It's mental. Second and longs, third and longs, they let them have it. It was a really, really poor game. And I don't know whether the stuff that happened before the game affected it. I mean, obviously the stuff around the national anthem and stuff like that, where they were booing the players, even though it wasn't what they were doing. They were praying and they're booing people who were praying. Bad melts.
At the end of the day, mate, the very quick to wrap sidebar on this one, the Steelers' defense is legit, and the Steelers are. We were right about them in the preseason. They are every bit the team that we thought they were going to be.
And Jenno, we'll move on to Jacksonville 20, New York Jets 23.
Jacksonville. They keep doing it. They wire me up so much.
Yeah, the Jets. Sorry about saying you're going to go 0-16. The Jets.
Don't be sorry.
They're feisty. I mean,
they should be happy.
We watched them against Oakland, and I sat there and I was like, they could run the ball at the start. It was quite interesting. No, the Jets can genuinely run the ball. Billy Powell, as I like to call him. I mean, that one where it looked like he was tackled and no one touched him, so he just got up and run for the touchdown and just went, That's a very Jacksonville thing to do, to no one to think, let's just tackle him just in case. And the same way, the other fellow had a good running touchdown. The Jets played well on this, but they nearly threw the game away. Jacksonville in that fourth quarter got the 2 turnovers and nearly come back. But Blake Bortles is garbage. Yeah. I mean, that interception Blake Bortles threw to Ely was just terrible. What are you doing? Just take the sack or throw it. Just throw it that way. Just do not throw it straight at the big 6'4" guy. That's a terrible idea. And also as well, receiving core is not that good for the Jags, especially now that Robinson's gone. There was a few drops in there, so that's not helping. And they scored 20 points and they think they need to win on 20 points. That's essentially what happened. But no, the Jets 23 and now 2-2.
Blake Bortles is crap, and I've never seen a quarterback get the ball tipped so much at the line in my life. Everyone tips his pass at the line. It must be something that he does. He's got a way of throwing motion, and it's so easy to get a hand on his passes, and that's what happened for that touchdown.
Yeah.
They're infuriating.
Okay, we'll move on. 49ers 15, Cardinals 18 in overtime. Stay exciting end to the game.
Oh,
man.
mate, if you like field goals, then I've got a game for you. Oh my goodness, I got stuck with this one. Absolute crap. Absolutely boring as anything. Up until the last minute when, Larry Fitzgerald is Larry Fitzgerald.
Why is he retiring, Sting?
Because he's playing for a crap team. Well,
why can't he? I know he loves the club and stuff.
Go play for someone good.
Nobody cares, man. Just go somewhere else and get a ring,
yeah,
please.
He really...
He deserves it,
yeah,
man. Go to the Patriots, get a ring next year when they've sorted the deal out.
49ers, the front seven's really good, and they beat the Arizona offensive lineup, and Carson Palmer's another one who's getting hit too much, a bit Brady-like. Honestly, it's a hard game to analyse. Both defenses played pretty well. And if you like field goals, this is a few, and then Larry Fitzgerald pulls a worldie out.
So all the kickers out there, go back and watch this.
Yeah, if you're into kicking, watch this game. Otherwise, don't even bother. It was crap.
And if you're really into kicking, watch rugby, where they have to do it from the sides. It's dead hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's me next, I think. Detroit Lions 14, my Minnesota Vikings 7. This is just a personal plea to the Minnesota Vikings. Let's just stop this season now, please. This game's not fun anymore. It's been a wild ride on your lovely roller coaster. We've been good, we've been bad, we've been good, we've been bad, and it's not even our fault. This Vikings side has got an opportunity to be a very, very good side. I think the defense is top draw. It's just not fair, man. Dalvin Cook, a non-contact injury again, another knee injury, and you see him. He's dropped the ball because he's reaching for his knee, and you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't want it like this.
It's horrendous, mate. And that game, I think Detroit scored 14 points and they both have fumbles. One is a
Well, that's it. Listen, we've had so many missed opportunities. There's fumbles there as well. Jared McKinnon, obviously the fumble.
Alvin Cook, you can't blame him.
No, not at all. But at the other end of the pitch, we got Rhodes, we got Barr, and we got Waynes, who all had opportunities to get interceptions. I mean, they were really good opportunities as well. Just should have had it. That's been the story of our season so far, you know what I mean? There's only so long that D can hold up for when you're producing absolutely nothing. Case Keenum was great last week. He was shocking again this week. I think he got some yards, don't get me wrong, but no, please, I can't watch him for much longer. And supposedly Teddy Bridgewater's coming off PUP in week 6 as well. So there's a potential that he could come back and injure himself as well now.
Yes, I just mean honestly, if I play for the Vikings at the minute, I would be putting all the insurance on my knees because there's just something going on. I feel so sorry for them. Like you say, you lose your star quarterback, you lose your star running back in a divisional game. It's just hard. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. And yeah, I do actually feel really sorry for them.
Jenno, Eagles 26, Chargers 24, mate.
Yeah, Eagles are starting to run the ball. LeGarrette Blount, we had a good sighting of him, smashing through players. I mean, again, I missed that. That was good old days of LeGarrette Blount, smashing through players. I mean, the Eagles look like a really good team, and the Chargers just going to keep beating themselves. They're so soft in the middle of their defence. Just like I said in the start, LeGarrette Blount will destroy soft defences. That's why he's always batter the Colts. That's what the Chargers are. They got this great pass rush, but outside of that, they're terrible. And the offense is just relying on chunk big plays. There's no rhythm, there's no consistency. It's just a 50-yard play to Allen or a 50-yard play to Benjamin. There's no consistency, and Melvin Gordon couldn't run the ball, and that's the difference. One team can run the ball, the other team can't.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on then. Stay. Seattle 46, Indianapolis Colts 18. I didn't watch this one. Me and Steve were talking before, and you said it was actually a rather close game.
Yeah, the Colts were winning at half-time, and then it all just went a bit to pot for them, didn't it? It was the Seattle started pretty slowly. They didn't really have much.
They have in the season.
Yeah, they didn't have much offense going at all. They got a score, to be fair, and so 2 of those scores were off defensive touchdowns. Coleman interception where Jacoby Brissett just stares the receiver down, and it just wasn't good enough, and he scores. And then there's a bit of Russell Wilson magic thrown in there. There's a fumble. I think Smith forced a fumble and Bobby Wagner picks up and starts running like a running back, which was amazing to watch. And he gets in. The Colts were competitive for half a game, but then the Seattle defense took over, and by that time, a bit of Russell Wilson, a bit of magic on the running game. We saw Eddie Lacy and stuff. Seattle for the first half looked like crap, and then for the second half they looked like what Seattle should be like. So
where are you on them at the moment?
They'll beat the bad teams like the Colts, and I think they'll struggle against anyone with a decent pass rush because the offensive line's still a bit naff. But Russell Wilson's brilliant, and he looked fired up. He scores a running touchdown, and he's usually I think he's brilliant, but he's the most boring man in the world.
I think he's the robot. I genuinely think he's a creative robot.
I think he's like built in a lab of how to be boring. But even he was fired up and going because I think he's a bit pissed off at what's been happening to him. Getting his head kicked in every game. And he was fantastic again. He's having a great season. People aren't seeing it. He's having moments where he just looks far too good for the other team, and that was the difference in this game. I thought I thought the scoreline flattered Seattle a bit, and it was a bit harsh in Indianapolis. But if you give Seahawks, it's like they smell blood in the water, and that's what happened. Yeah,
okay, well, we'll move on then. I got the Bengals game, 31-7 over the Browns. Andy Dalton did all right in this game, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a mad game because there was loads of stuff going on, like interceptions and stuff like that. 25 of 30, Dalton was 286 yards, 4 touchdowns for Dalton. I will temper this with, there is a little bit of a concern for me though. Only 29 rushing yards all game the Bengals had, and if the Bengals are going to win, they're going to need that rushing attack because Dalton's not going to have a game like that. He's an okay quarterback. I think we all agree on that. He's a game manager, isn't he? You can't be reliant on Dalton turning up every single game and playing like he played the other day. On the other side, Kenny Britt does what Kenny Britt does. He's managed to get himself a false start, a drop pass. He caught a 26 yarder on 3rd and long, and one went through his hands for an interception in the red zone. So that's just kind of what Britt does. Browns are absolutely the worst team of football right now. They've had the Colts, they've had obviously the Bengals who are struggling, and the Jets are next. And we're going to find out about this team, and we're already finding out about this team. They're really, really poor.
Yep. Is Hugh, I was just going to say this now. Is Hugh Jackson going to get fired at the end of the season?
It wouldn't surprise me. He's won one game, and that was because of a missed field goal.
What is it? 119.
He's 119. It should have been 20. He should be 0-20 if it was. I think it was. Chargers, funny enough. It was
the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers being Chargers, miss a field goal.
How did we pick them to go to the playoffs?
Because we're absolute idiots. Yeah.
I always trust the experienced quarterbacks. I shouldn't. Yeah. Quite clearly. There's stuff going on in the league now where they're not all playing as well as they have been. Washington 20, Kansas City 29.
Before we start on this one, can I say, if you had the overs or the unders, if you were back on the handicaps on this, you would be absolutely furious with that last second. It shouldn't have been 9, should it? It should have been 3.
No, yeah.
But yeah, they go for the whole, what's it called, the laterals and stuff to the Redskins, and there'll be some poor fella out there who had like 20 grand on the +5. I say poor, he's obviously not poor because he can bet 20 grand, but he's poorer than he would have been for that garbage play.
Well, this was a fun game to watch. I mean, it was a nice back and forth game. It was good. Watch this Redskins again. I think everyone underrated how good they are. They've got a good offense line, a good defensive. The only problem they had is they couldn't run the ball consistently. Fat Rob went down. Thompson, they were just getting 30 yards each. There was no one just really rushing the ball. Whereas Kareem Hunt had 20 rushes, goes over 100 yards, and keeps emerging as the playmaker we think he is. It was quite interesting. We saw Terrell Pryor actually caught a pass, which when I first saw that, I thought that was a Marcus Peters interception in the end zone, and then realised Pryor come up with it, and I was like, should have really been picked off. It was a good game, but the problem again is Cousins has no one to go to for multiple catches a game. It was like 2 catches to this person, 3 catches to that person. There's no number 1 receiver you can throw to 6 or 7 times for 100 yards to just keep getting those yardage. Whereas on the other side, on the Chiefs, if that pass is thrown more than 10 yards, it's going to Kelsey. That's it. Alex Smith is only willing to throw to Kelsey for more than 10 yards. Nobody else, which is kind of annoying me because I want to like this Chiefs team because they're really fun at times. But just throw Tyreek Hill, let him run down the side and throw one sideline pass to him, please. I'm getting bored of watching those sweeps and constantly.
I like it.
Do you think because of obviously the quarterback situation there, that the first week was all about getting the ball down the field, they're winning, and he's kind of reverting to type. Do you think he needs that fire under his arse a little bit, Steve?
No, I just think the Patriots defense is shit.
Which we didn't know actually in week 1. I forgot all about that.
Exactly,
In week 1, we didn't realise how bad the Patriots
Yeah,
defence was.
The Redskins are a good team, got a good defence and stuff. And Kirk Cousins actually played pretty well. He was good with his legs, which was a surprise. He's not usually doing that. And to be fair, Alex Smith was the same. A lot of the big plays in this game were quarterback, not so much design runs, but scramble drills and stuff. The better team ultimately just about sneaked it, but I thought the Redskins give credit to themselves. Actually.
Okay, and last game, Steve saving the best, in his opinion, till last. Chicago Bears 14, Green Bay Packers 35.
Yeah, Rodgers was unbelievable. Mike Glennon is trash, and that's why he's been benched. He's not going to be playing no more. All I want to say, again, the better team won by miles. The only thing I should mention on this one, Danny Trevathan's being suspended for 2 games for that hit on Devontae Adams.
All right, okay.
Absolute disgrace. It should be 1,000,000 games. That was absolutely...
It was so needless.
You know,
that was the thing about
it's horrendous. It's absolutely... Sometimes I feel sorry. In the same game, I think Harkless and Dix gets done for a tackle where I think it's Bellamy goes to the ball, and as Bellamy crouches down, Dix then hits him, and it's a flag, it's 15 yards.
Yeah, but he wasn't leading with his head at his head.
He wasn't trying to hit. The only thing Danny Trevathan was trying to do was to injure Devontae Adams, because he's trapped, he's got nowhere, he can't move, and he comes in and he's lucky. And it's mad when you're...
The players were calling for the medics.
It's horrendous.
He's not even hit the floor, and the fellas are like, get over here. And I thought he was dead.
When you're happy that the sideline reporter says he's got feeling in his arms and legs, and you're relieved, that shows how bad that was. There's no place. I'm all for, physical football and, men are men, blah, blah, but you can't
There's just no need to lead with the head.
And the
like
fact that he wasn't thrown out the game is a disgrace, because listen, the Packers ultimately won and stuff, which is fine, but the Packers getting nothing from him being suspended for 2 games. But Devontae Adams gets nothing from him being suspended.
How long is he going to be
games.
out for?
He's got a concussion, so who knows? It'll be a couple of weeks maybe.
Maybe the playoffs, maybe.
It looked bad. It looked so bad.
He's only got a concussion, which again shows how bad the hit was. I thought it was a disgrace. And
I wonder, it'd be interesting to find out whether he's wearing one of those new helmets.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's a few of them now, isn't there?
It was just so bad. I thought it was... And 2 games. And again, it's off-field and on-field, but Ezekiel Elliott's going to get banned for 6 games. And what he did, allegedly, was horrendous, don't get me wrong. We've had guys who smoke weed and get banned for 4 games. Yeah. 4 games for smoking weed, and you can take someone's head off and get 2 games, and he's appealed it. Fuck off.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace.
Joke,
absolute disgrace.
Josh Gordon's out the league because he smokes weed. I mean...
Absolute disgrace. It's horrendous on him, and it's horrendous for the NFL. Horrendous. Absolutely awful.
Okay. You know what else is horrendous? Our pick'ems this week. Me and Steve went 9-7. We picked all exactly the same. Jenno, did you all right?
Exactly mediocre with 8.
It was a tough one. Yeah, it started so well. We had the Green Bay Packers. Everyone had picked them. Literally 7 losses for me.
Well, it went Titans, Jacksonville, Vikings, and then it went on from there, and it goes Buffalo beat Atlanta, and then you get the Rams beating Dallas, and you get
Have we got the league? So I've been usurped at the top of the table.
Yeah,
now.
Harshaw, one of our loyal followers and watchers, has overtaken you at the top of the league. So you've got to go
well
back.
played, because he got the bonus points for 10.
You got 10. You got 10. I got the bonus.
Harshal, you twat.
He's coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're clapped. So we're
having this little duel with each other. We're on the same points now.
I'm only a few points ahead of you though, aren't I?
Yeah,
no,
it's enough. It's a
gap.
It's a significant gap.
Well, we'll see at the end of the season. I was confident when I was top of the table. I'm not top of the table, so I can't give a big uns no more.
Go for it.
Harshal, by all means, tweet us some stick.
At least I'm going from some lone wolf bits. At least I'm trying to make it interesting.
Harshal did as well.
Harshal went lone wolf. And he got 10 of them right.
Oh, I just meant to use it.
Oh, well, sod off, don't know. Listen, thanks very much for watching it again. As we ask at the end of every video, get involved in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on the games, what we got right, what we got wrong. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the like symbol. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back with the preview show tomorrow. Cheers.